going to do, see if my new one works.
What's wrong with that?
It's not reading my screen.
Is it the computer? Do you need another computer?
There it is. Okay, and this one works.
I heard somebody say
Oh,
my name.
we should try that with this. That's it, yes. Then we'll know. That's troubleshooting, right? You see what I'm saying?
Would you like?
We're gonna try this on his computer so that we know where the problem is.
Wait a second until we figure out what's going on.
No, this. Oh.
And, I have,
This whole thing is spaghetti. My wife.
Oh,
oh, yeah,
It kind of looks good.
two sets of pretty quickly.
It's good. Is it good? Yeah, that's fair. Does it taste nice?
Okay. So it's something on his computer. It's
Yeah.
something on his computer. I'm gonna take this. Oh, there's a direction on these.
There it is.
Yes, yes. I think we got it backwards. Yes. I know what's wrong. Yeah, that's Steve. There's a direction on these.
Well, it can only go in one way.
So
I
Dave
know,
has.
no,
Yeah, but the thing's got,
There's the in, and the out. So even though they look the same.
Oh,
So he has this, his idea is to write down everybody that got nominated,
Yeah, there.
and then each
Yes.
person would go
Yeah.
through their stacks and just compare.
it did work?
Okay,
All
yes.
right.
thank you.
I think that might actually.
How many times do we use this one? Not that much.
Right, that's true.
We
That's true.
figured it out.
Yeah.
You did? You need another raise?
Right.
I need one. Here on Sunday, when she grew up, his soul doctors.
Yay.
I feel like my mom sometimes.
Are you gonna collect ballots or?
Yes, I am. Yes, me and Benjamin are collecting ballots. I'm passing me and Benjamin are passing.
Lord,
ballots. I got one. I'm still working.
a look. Okay.
So I'm just gonna play around with one of the tunes. Tell me to shut up. Me too. Okay. When it starts.
And we'll unsubtle.
Thank you so much.
Bruce, are you okay with this here? Okay.
I've embarrassed myself enough today.
You want me up here? Okay, I am.
Bruce, do you know I'm using this microphone? Okay.
So he's on green. I'm gonna just stay on this. Do we need to check this? Check, check, check. Test, 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 test. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers in Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania. Check, 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 test. Good? No? Yes? Yes? Thank you. All right, folks, we're already 3 minutes late. Okay, as we're waiting to call this meeting to order, people that are presently on the vestry who did not get their gift from me at Christmas, please come up here and get your gift, vestry members who never got it, or staff members. I think all the staff got it, but any vestry members who didn't get their gift, please come up here now. You got your gift, didn't you? Oh, God. Well, don't walk away, for heaven's sake. Jeez. Okay. All right, are we good? Oh, you're coming up for your gift. Yes. It does not explode, and it's from me, not the church. So, okay, we didn't spend any church money for that, okay? You're welcome. Anybody else who didn't get it? Sarah, you never got it? Oh my gosh. Anybody else? Don, did you get it? Well, come up here for heaven's sake. I know somebody didn't get them because I still have them, so. You're welcome. Anybody else? Yes, Francesca. It's for vestry members. Vestry and staff. Okay. Are you okay? Everybody good? Everybody in place? All right. Old senior warden, I think it's time to call us to order.
All right, let's get this annual meeting started. Especially, remembering that not only is this annual meeting day, but it's Super Bowl day.
What?
So we need to make sure we get this meeting done on time. To start with, we'd like to start with the hymn on page 3 of your bulletin.
So you will notice a definite theme throughout our music today and everything that we're doing, and it follows the theme that Dave Coatsworth left us with this morning, as did Reverend Gary, and that theme is justice and social justice, and that's what we're all about here. So thank you, Laurie, for helping find these hymns. All right, go for it, Senior Warden.
All right, Reverend Gary. I don't see you, but the light's in my eye. If you would like to lead us in an opening prayer.
Your headset would work if you prepare for it.
Let us
Sorry,
be in
we're
the
live
mind of
streaming.
prayer.
You got to do that.
Great Spirit, you envelop us in eagle's wings of care, compassion, and mercy. Fill our hearts and minds with your wisdom, that we may discern your will for this community, on how we shall act justly with those around us, and how we may lift our voices to challenge the tyranny that scares us, and help us be your servants to those most oppressed. We ask this in the name of the one who carries all our burdens. Amen. So I don't have to keep this up.
Thank you, Father Gary.
All right, so this is us. This is Grace St. Paul's. This picture was taken a few years ago, but I think it really shows just what an amazing church this is, that all of you were willing to get out there in the sun and pose for this picture. So thank you, and let's get this meeting started. First on the agenda is we need to approve last year's minutes. They're all in the annual meeting brochure. So I hope everyone has had a chance to take a look at those. Are there any changes or anything that you would like to see different in those minutes?
I think Christian wrote, were those amended or anything? They were a little skimpy, I noticed. No? Are they short? If they are, I can talk to Christian and we can fix it.
Where is Christian? Oh, there he is.
I already spoke to
Did
him,
you
then I
see?
can do that.
Oh, you've already done this?
I've already talked.
Okay.
Fix it.
So do we need to amend them? Are they okay? What, 1 second. So we're talking about last year's minutes. Are they okay?
No,
Okay,
there's nothing under children.
okay. So you guys are going to put this together after the fact? Okay, so now we're talking about approving the minutes with that, with the amending of the children and youth report. Okay, can we use this microphone too?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
There's another amendment as well, and that's the date of the minutes for last year.
The date is
It
wrong?
says that it's 2025.
Okay. Okay, you got that, Dennis? The date? Okay, anything else?
My name does not end with an S.
So Dave Robertson's name is on there, and apparently it has,
Under approval of the minutes for 2023,
okay,
motion was made by Dave Robertson, not Robertson's.
we just need to take the S off his name. Anything else? Good? All right.
So, would someone like to make a motion? Second? All right, Phil, second. So Dave made the motion and Phil seconded.
Dave Robertson.
Dave Robertson, yes.
Well,
All
we
right.
did again.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed?
Down, RD opposes. Okay.
All right.
We got you,
Approved.
RD. Nicely done. We got you.
All right, so approved. All right, in 2023, we had a lot of ministry changes, and we spent a good deal of the meeting just going over those ministry changes. 2024, we actually did a little better. We don't have a huge number of ministry changes,
Yay.
but we do have some, and we'd like to recognize those changes now. Well, okay. Starting with the lector coordinator. This is, I don't want to say it's a new position, but it's new the way it's being done. Elizabeth Yeager took this on this year, and or last year, and has taken it to where we both, she coordinates both the lectors and the people doing the prayers of the people. So it's a little different than we've done it in the past. And Elizabeth even set up training for lectors, and I understand it was done exceptionally well. So thank you very much, Elizabeth, for taking this on. Intercessory prayer. This was another one that changed during the year. Dennis, of course, has been doing intercessory prayer for quite a while. But Sarah Blankenship joined him during 2024 and is now on that ministry. So thank you both again for all you do. That's an amazing ministry that we appreciate. The Welcome Newcomers Ministry. This shifted from Dave and Diana Robertson during the year, and really appreciate all the work that the two of you had done with that ministry. And now Joe Thompson has been kind enough to take that ministry on. And obviously this is one that's critical to us being able to grow as a congregation. So thank you, Joe, and thank you, Diane and Dave, for all the work you've done with this. Now, this is a difficult one. We have really not had a leader in our animal spirituality ministry since Deacon Chris died. And this is one that I get asked questions about all the time, when are we going to? And it's one that we have not been able to identify someone who would truly like to take the leadership role for this animal spirituality ministry. So if any of you know of someone or are interested in taking that on, it's one that's desperately needed. Well, you want to talk about that?
So that would be up to the person taking over the ministry. I mean, Chris was involved in all kinds of outside projects to connect to care for animals. Part of it is, he developed this, the animal memorial garden out here. So some of this would include upkeep of that garden and where someone wants to take that ministry. So it's really pretty open. Chris connected us with lots of outside organizations, Humane Society, Pima County. Somebody help me. Tell me, somebody, Pima County, what's it called? PAC. Okay. All of those folks. So it's some connection with the outside world helping, and we became kind of the clearinghouse for that from a spiritual standpoint. So, but it would really be up to what somebody wanted to do in that ministry to hold it together. We have a few people that are doing tiny parts of it, but nobody has been willing to take over the ministry. Thanks, Robin.
Yes, thank you. adult spiritual formation. We had two individuals who jumped in to start handling our adult spiritual formation. And that was Sandy Nesbitt and Patricia Donahue. And they've done a very nice job of keeping us up in this area. So thank you, Sarah and Patricia. Or Sandy and Patricia, I'm sorry. Centering prayer. This started with Karen Hansen handling our Friday afternoon centering prayer, and really got it going. And now Sarah Heitzu and Ricky Salas have now taken that on. And for any of you who are interested, it is still Friday at 12:30, right? Oh, 12:15. Okay. All right. All right. And thank you all three for being a big part of that. I do notice whenever I leave on Friday afternoon that there are a lot of cars out there in the parking lot that are here for that. So nice job. Thank you all. Education for ministry. This was one that Dave Coatsworth and Rebecca Dickinson had mentored for a number of years until they realized that they needed to have a life outside of education for ministry.
Speaking from experience there, Steve?
Speaking from experience. And they did an amazing job. They mentored through a number of groups, so really appreciate it. It's now being mentored by two individuals who are not members of our church, and that's the reason that I don't have their pictures up here. But that's Deborah Teague and Sandy Rohde. So thank you, Dave and Rebecca. And thank you, Deborah and Sandy, even though you won't hear me. New group. We have a new group. These Soul Sisters that started in 2024, led by two of our ladies here, Diana Robertson and Sandy Montano. Thank you for getting that group going, and I hope it continues to do well. And one other new group, and that's the men's group led by Dave Robertson. Now, when do you meet, Dave? Third Thursday at Dark 100. Okay, 7 o'clock in the morning at Frank's. So for those men that are interested in that group, please talk to Dave, and he'll get you going. So thank you, Dave. And actually, that is all of the ministry changes that we had in 2024. Except for one that we obviously forgot.
Apparently. So, I mean, there are changes in almost every ministry that we have. We did want to specifically mention Aileen Laringer as being another leader in our pastoral care group. Our pastoral care group does amazing work. They help me almost every day, but certainly 2 or 3 times a week with all pastoral needs in this parish are just gigantic, of course. And I just wanted to also point out that Aileen became an important part of that ministry this year, okay?
All right, thank you. All right, we are now ready to hear from our treasurer. So, you want me to? Paul, turn it over to you.
So this is page 23 in your booklet, okay? So if everybody can come up to 23, because I'm sure you're going to be able to see all those numbers very
you
well from your
can't
seat.
see much of that.
So,
Is this on?
so you really need to look at something in front of you.
Is this on? It is. Yeah, we're going to look at last year's financials first, and the short of it all is that as the previous year, you guys did a fantastic job of stepping up and contributing towards the end of the year. We consistently run behind budget. That is, our expenditures come on a fairly regular basis. Our revenues lag a little bit during the year, but they are made up in December. That appears to be a pattern, and I'm taking it into account in budgeting for the future, but it's no longer so nerve-wracking because I'm pretty sure that it happens. If you look at the first couple of lines on page 23, you can see this funny stuff, actual to budget, that our pledge offerings fell well short of budget, but the plate offerings, which reflect a lot of what happened in December, were way over the budget. Now, when you add those two together, they're almost on budget. So we're assuming that the late contributions are, at least in part, pledge contributions. So that part of the revenue looks fairly reliable. If you're going to look at expenditures, you can see that there are areas where we're over and areas where we're under. That pretty much balances out. We will be making strong efforts next year to keep all lines of expenditure under control so that we can be assured of meeting our budget for the year. Some of this reflects increased costs due to inflation, perhaps even increased use of some things, but and that we will budget for the future. But all in all, you can see the very bottom line there, which reflects all amounts coming in and all amounts going out, that there's a very small surplus. Now, if there are any questions on this, I'll be happy to answer them, but a lot of them I think would be answered in my written report that appears here. No? Okay, well then we need a motion to accept these financials. Okay.
What are we moving at this point?
Sorry?
To accept the fiscal report from 2024. Yep.
And I need to know who made the motion, who seconded.
I did.
Martha made the motion. And who seconded? Rob, thank you, Rob. So I just want to point out, you all heard me yelling and screaming in the last 2 months, wondering how in the world we were you remember, $130,000 in the hole more than we have ever been since I've been at this parish. So I was just taking gas. So that's why Dave talked about somebody, clergy, sleeping at night or whatever. Anyway, so I cannot tell you, if you look at the bottom line on your budget, that we actually are in the black for the year. It is, I am so grateful to all of you, I can hardly stand it, so thank you. Anybody else? Okay. Yep, vote, yep. Sorry, that's your job.
All right. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor of approving the budget, or I'm sorry,
The fiscal.
approving our financials for 2024, say aye. Aye. All opposed? No? All right, okay. It's carried. Thank you very much. And Paul, you want to get on to
Yeah, we'll go to the
2025?
budget now, which is page 21. Yeah, this shouldn't be without controversy, so we appreciate the negative votes. I'm showing you on that page the 2024 budget, the change for 2025, if there is one, and then the total proposed budget for that particular line for 2025. Now, you'll notice that I'm increasing the pledge offerings by $40,000 and leaving plate offerings where they are. If you add, again, plate offerings plus pledge offerings together, it's pretty close, maybe about 10,000 short of what we had this year. So it's not that great of an increase. Otherwise, not much change. We are obviously renting this, parts of this place out quite a bit, so that'll be increased a bit. The changes on the expense side are worth noting. That is, under clergy staff for wages and benefits, we have an increase that reflects increasing Father Gary's time by 1/4, which would now equal 3/4 for the year. This, the vestry believes, quite necessary in order to assist Father Steve in administrative tasks and, getting him out of here from time to time. On professional staff, there is an increase reflecting adding 1/4 time, raising it to 3/4 for the director of the children and youth services. Again, we have been able to more or less hold steady with that ministry, but in order to grow the ministry, which the vestry believes to be quite necessary for the growth of the church in the future, we need to increase the time of the director. So that shows up there. There's also a small raise for the bookkeeper, who has performed yeoman service this year. Pardon? I'm having trouble hearing. Oh,
The reason I ask is because down lower it says bookkeeper and audit, and it's got minus 25,000.
yeah. Part of what is happening here is that we shifted our bookkeeping from a Shelby Systems-based system to a QuickBooks system. We think we had very good reasons for that, but that causes some changes in where stuff appears. The bookkeeper and audit portion goes down substantially because we're shifting bookkeeper to professional staff. And so that's why that looks as it does. And in fact, that had happened this year, so this reflected a savings, in effect. Now, Life and health premiums goes up a bit because we need to do that for the youth director. More than half-time now, that requires us to be purchasing health premiums. The pension expense actually decreases a bit because Father Gary's pension expense is being paid by the diocese for this year as a gesture of their support for the need for our increasing that. And then I'm proposing a 4% cost of living increase. That's a little bit larger than actual inflation for the year, but it reflects the fact that we did not provide an increase against a more substantial inflation the previous year. So 4% more or less holds people consistent with inflation. That's for everybody on staff, yeah. I'm also showing under open to all that buildings and maintenance will increase by about 10,000 because our ancient computers, which we believe were constructed before Bill Gates was born, occasionally crash and leave us in, shall we say, awkward positions. So we think we need to update some of those computers, and I'll be working with our IT consultant to talk about that. I probably will not have us do that right at the beginning of the year, but put it off a little bit just so we can see how things are going. Under food for the journey, not much change there, but there is an error that I can show you. If you look at the total for food for the journey, there actually is a decrease of about 2,000, and that 18,000 should reflect the total for next year. It's not 38,000. Unfortunately, since I wasn't using Excel-based formulas, that doesn't figure into the addition and subtraction, and the overall number will come out about the same for net revenue. Otherwise, not much change except for a little bit of change in perhaps inflation on the coffee machines and maybe a little bit elsewhere. Now, I have to say that, yeah, hang on a second, Phil. The budget for this church is a little different from the budget for the labor union that I worked at over a number of years before I came here. And that budget, I could be quite confident, reflected quite accurately the revenue for the year and the expenditures for the year. It's a little bit less certain here, so I tend to budget some of these a little bit conservatively, but nonetheless, if there are excesses in one area, there's probably going to be shortcomings in other areas, and I'm pretty confident that this will work out as shown. And Phil?
I guess a couple of questions. You mentioned bumping up 2 half-time positions to quarter-time, one of which is the benefits are going to be covered by the diocese. Are we covering the benefits for the other position?
We are covering the benefits for the other position, which is health insurance.
Okay. And how much more than last year, and given all that you've said, how much more is this proposed budget?
50,000 bucks.
For the wages and benefits.
No, for the whole ball of wax, for everything.
Oh, the whole ball of wax?
I think it was $45,000.
Yep.
Yeah, it's not a whole lot different. That is, the total expenditures are projected about 40,000 higher, and the total revenues are projected roughly 50,000 higher.
But Paul, I think his question is, how much more is this in expenditures for this year based on last year? And I believe the answer is 50,000, correct?
That's about right. It's
Yeah,
about
it shows, I think it shows 45,000 or something.
Yep.
It's about 43,000.
So are we confident that we're going to be able to come up with that?
Well, that is exactly what we're here to talk about.
Yeah,
So
that-
so
that,
that does, I mean, I have seen this before, and so I've been kind of running this through my head and wondering if Father Steve is going to be apoplectic next December, begging people to come up with, never mind.
I'll tell you, Phil,
Just
that
being practical.
That's
the
what we're
way
here to discuss.
I've gone about constructing this budget is to look at what it appears, that is, what the vestry thinks we need to do next year, and see if we can budget for that kind of expenditure. When we do that, we do come out seeking a little bit more money than we had this year. But I can't find areas that should be cut in order to meet what we consider our basic ministry needs. So yeah, it's a bit ambitious, but I'm pretty confident that we can do this.
Okay, Benjamin's next, and then I'll run to the rest of you.
Yeah, since we're talking totals now, I think it should be important to point out we have a typo in facilities and services, I think. We have 10,000, should be a negative 10,000, going from 35 to 25. So that 50 up in revenue may not be completely accurate.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah.
Dang, you turned him into a bookkeeper, Paul. Listen to him.
No,
Way to go, Benjamin. Nicely done.
I have to take responsibility for that. I mean, we apologize for all mistakes we've been making up here, but it's a bunch of old white guys, so what do you expect? So that would change facility and services to 45 from 35, which would have us running a small deficit for the year.
I was just wanting to ask about special events. Are there particular events that refers to, or is that something we create?
That is something that is set up during the year.
It's everything that we do that is not accounted for. So there are weddings in there and some burials when people don't have the money to pay for things themselves. It's anything that we host here that we're paying for. A lot of stuff falls into that category. Okay, Brooke?
I noticed you have 4% for COLA. And I'm not an economist, but do we anticipate a significant increase in what the increased tariffs, like 25% for Canada and Mexico? Will that have any impact on the parish? I mean, that's a lot. To me, that's a lot of money.
If you can estimate that, great. I cannot.
More power to you. Yeah.
I find that whoever that guy is that's sitting up there changes his statements more or less daily, if not twice a day. So I truly do not know what's going to happen there.
Yep.
Hi, Don Gates, new kid in town. On the pledge income, the almost 20% shortfall is quite significant, and having been involved in the finances of a different parish, I know there's generally two distinct elements at work there. One is people leave, people relocate, and are no longer participating in the parish, and then the other element being people whose circumstances change. I wonder if you track that and can kind of give some color on the 20% shortfall.
The 20% shortfall we're showing for
Pledges.
2024, right?
Yeah. Yes.
From the fiscals, yeah.
I have tried to find ways to track that in the past, but because some of the pledge offerings are made through the plate, that is, I think, impossible to do. I simply can't do that. So I've taken to adding those two numbers together and saying we're coming about where we expected to come. Are there people who are contributing less than they had estimated at the beginning of the year? I'm sure there are, and there are plenty of people who are contributing more. So I can't do much better than simply add those two categories together.
And Dave, that's our best guess. Because our plate was so high this year, we kind of think that some of that was actually pledge, that it didn't get accounted for properly. And as Paul points out, we came out almost even if you put the two together. So we're guessing that a lot of that plate was actually pledged that didn't get accounted that way because of the way it was put in the offering.
But it's cash by definition if it's in plate, right?
Not necessarily, not necessarily. Some people make donations online, anonymously. Some people make donations in multiple ways that we can't account for. Sometimes they write a check and we can't apply it to their pledge. We can't figure it out, to be perfectly honest. But the fact, and I mean, Paul's right, the fact that we came up with almost the exact right amount of money makes us think that that's part of it. It's the way it was counted. I don't think there's any doubt that our pledges were lower than what they should have been. And I don't attribute a lot of that to death. I think it was more circumstance of people in the congregation. And we also think that our plate was way higher because we have so many people that came into this congregation during the year. And so they hadn't pledged, and they just put. So the combination of that and the fact that we think some of that money was not actually counted as pledge is what did it. That's our best guess. We're just not that worried because the number's there.
A little question about, is Just Coffee still going on?
Yes? Did somebody say
Just
yes?
Coffee is in the list.
It is? Oh, yeah, no. No, Just Coffee stopped after COVID, and we haven't started it back up.
So take it off.
Yes, ma'am. Anybody else?
Anybody else?
So, folks, this is a really, obviously, this is a big leap in budget here. And it's not the easiest decision in the world. And I think Paul described this to you very well. I mean, the bulk of this money is changing the associate rector and children and youth minister jobs from half-time to three-quarter time. And we have a little bit of a bump from the diocese, as Paul explained, because they are going to cover the associate rector's medical insurance after some deft negotiation with the rector of this parish. So that's a little benefit we're getting, but that's what the real money
and Steve,
is.
that's half to three quarters, not half to full. Is the
Half to
change.
three quarters, is that not what I said?
No, I think you said full.
Okay. Okay, half-time positions to three-quarter time positions is what we're talking about.
I want to thank you guys very much for tweaking the music budget, because as you could see in there, we were considerably over our $1,500, but that's just what it's costing these days to get new music and to keep fresh water past our gills. So we appreciate that tweak. And I also personally want to thank you for the 4% raise. We didn't get one last year. And it does make a difference to your staff. So
Christina,
blessings upon you.
Christina, nothing has been approved yet.
Well,
Nothing.
you know, okay.
Zero.
If it were.
Well, and we do very much appreciate the
Thank
music you guys have been coming up with. Any others?
Yeah, I mean, it's time for the discussion. Father Joe.
I'm
no,
coming!
Don't speak. We got live stream. We got to speak in the
So,
microphone.
and this is based on some of our discussions with clergy and so on, I think one of the things that will help with this is the fact that we have pushed the pledges into this time period rather than having them in the fall. So I think we will get a more accurate prediction of our budget by doing this. And I think hopefully we'll find out next year, but I think it's a great idea.
Karen said me too.
Okay. Does this mean that you're prepared to vote on this budget? Okay.
Do we have a motion?
All right, do we have a motion to approve this budget? Okay. Victoria? Second? Rob? Okay, Rob was second. All right. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All
RD,
right.
nicely done.
All right, well, the budget is approved. Thank you all very much, and thank you, Paul.
And that's the end of the fun part of the meeting.
Let me also quickly say, Paul didn't verbally say it, and he doesn't need to, but we are mandated by diocesan convention to report the salaries of the priests, and you see that in the body of Paul's report.
On page 19.
Thank you. On page 19. So you see how much money Father Gary and I make there, because we think it's important for you to know that, and I'm really grateful that diocesan convention mandated that, so there aren't priests in this diocese hiding how much money they're making. I think that's really, really important. The other thing I want to add is, you all know that we moved out of the rectory this year. And the bishop told the congregation, well, of course, you must pay for housing for the rector. And I said, well, of course, we can't afford housing for the rector. So that just dropped out of my salary. You are paying the utilities for the place where we're living, but that's it. And that's basically because I don't think we can afford it as a parish, and we were in a position to do that, so we just took that, okay? So,
And
yeah,
Steve, I should mention that the vestry has not decided what to do with that
That's
house
right.
yet, but that is another potential source of revenue.
That's a really good point. So we have the rectory now, and the vestry will be deciding what to do with it, but hopefully sometime during this year, we're going to get some revenue out of that. I'm sorry, James. Oh, gosh.
As a retired pastor, I'm always interested in this question. Do you have a housing allowance, I presume?
So that's what I'm saying. I can take it off, a housing allowance off of taxes, but
Because you have your own place now.
because yes,
I
and
would
this is the
want to
first
have-
time that I've been in that position.
Yeah, I would want to have that right up to the max.
So GSP is not paying anything for that house.
That
but
doesn't matter.
I can take it as a housing
It's an
allowance.
arithmetic
You are
issue.
Absolutely right.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. All these pastors before, doggone it. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you all. I just wanted to make sure you were all aware of that.
All right, it is now time to start saying goodbye to people. We have first our outgoing vestry members. If Don, Christian, and Patricia would mind, please come up so we can say goodbye.
So Patricia emailed me last night and told me she couldn't be here today, so sorry. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Don, thank you. Patricia, thank you. Okay.
Next, we're saying goodbye to our junior warden, Dave. Please come on up.
So you all know that for years we have been trying to figure out how to get a new roof on this building, and the other building too, come to think of it. And Dave made that happen this year. So and he also made that happen at almost zero cost to Grace St. Paul's. Don't ask him how he did that, okay? You don't want to know the details, but he did it. Dave did lots of other projects around here, all over the place, but if he did nothing else but make that roof happen, that was just amazing, so thank you. No, like, you'll come back to do that.
All right, and there's one more, last and certainly least. Our senior warden, someone who needs no introduction.
Yes. So you all have some idea how difficult a job it would be trying to take care of me. So, I mean, just think about trying to do that for a day, much less for 3 years. And Steve did that. Steve has this way of calming me down when everything is going totally crazy and I cannot figure out how we're going to be able to accomplish something or what we're going to do. And I come in and he sits down and I start yelling, "What are we going to do? How are we going to do this?" And he said, "Calm down." And then he goes in this whole plan how we're going to do it. And he did that over and over and over and over again. Thank you, Steve. He just bailed me out and bailed me out and bailed me out, and will forever be grateful to him. So thank you very much. Yep.
All right. Now we move on to the new. We have 3 Vestry candidates for the 3 positions. Andrew Lewis, Ricky Salas, and Jake Smith. In case you forgot, that's what they look like. If you weren't here for the Vestry candidates meeting. And we also then have a junior warden candidate, Steve Mirsky, that we also need to elect today. So we thought there's no reason in having a ballot for these 3 candidates unless there's a reason why.
So here's what we're doing here. First of all, if you're all here, can you stand up, Vestry nominees and junior warden nominee? Thank you. All right. So you've all heard this tale already, but I'm going to say it quickly one more time. We have not, since I've been here, we have not tried this strategy, which is the nominating committee choosing just the number of people we need to fill the slots. And the reason we did that is the Vestry had a very strong opinion this year that we didn't want to have one person lose an election. And we've been having 4 people running for 3 positions recently. They did not want to do that. So the nominating committee was given the opportunity to do 2 things: pick 3 people or pick 6 people, so that we had, a full vote. The nominating committee tried really hard, and they found 3 people. Actually, they ended up with 4 at one point, but we didn't want 4, so we pared it back to 3 people. That's why we are in the position that we're in. The vestry really didn't want to go through this having one person lose again. So that's where we are. The other thing is, as you can see, all the people standing seem to be of the same gender. So I want you to know that if you elect them, we will still have more women on the vestry than we do men, okay? So there is, that was just dumb luck, to be perfectly honest, but I want you to be aware of that too, okay? So what we're gonna do here is you can choose to negate this slate and give it back to the nominating committee to find new people, okay? You can choose to do that, or you can choose to elect these people by acclamation, okay? So that's where we are.
All right. Yeah, Dave, way over there.
I move that we vote for the ballot by acclamation.
All right. Thank you, Dave. Is there a second? Oh, all right. Francesca. All right. So there's been a nomination and a second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? All right. Carries. We have
you
new
all.
vestry and a new junior warden. Congratulations and my condolences. All right, now comes a fun part. It is time to nominate delegates to diocesan convention. We need, in the end, we need 5 delegates and 5 alternates. And as Steve always points out, invariably, those 5 alternates are, most of them are asked to go to diocesan convention because so much changes over the year. So now is your chance to nominate individuals, and if they are willing to go to diocesan convention, we will put them up here. So, who would
Probably tell people when diocesan convention is.
Yeah, it's October something.
You know, I don't know. I'd have to look. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Father Joe.
10th and 11th, you said?
No, we're
And-
back in Phoenix this year, so you're
Yes.
making a trip to Phoenix, okay?
So, yes, it'll be an overnighter.
Yep.
So,
An
all right.
all-expense paid trip to Phoenix.
I nominate Karen McVeigh.
Karen, do you accept?
Thank you.
Oh, here we go again. It's like every year.
Aileen Loringer, the new chair of pastoral care, sitting next to me.
Elaine, do you accept?
And I nominate Kim Braun, sitting next to me.
I don't know what's going on up here. Kim, you willing? Yes? It's really fun, folks. You should do it. It's fun.
I nominate Rebecca Harkness.
Rebecca, are you willing to serve? Yes. Oh, we're going to have so much fun, Rebecca.
I nominate Kim Kennedy.
Are you willing? And she's willing.
Yes, Kim? Okay. Well, she doesn't get a vote until she's ordained. And you're not going to be ordained by October, are you? Okay, I didn't think so. You guys are doing great. That's 5.
Yeah, I nominate Ricky Salas.
Ricky Salas. Ricky, are you willing? Ricky is in.
Hello. Did everybody receive a ballot? Thank God.
That's kind of what we do around here, Brooke. Thank God.
Did I receive a ballot?
Did you give us a ballot? Of course I get a ballot. Jeez. I mean, I get a vote. Father Joe over here. Say again?
No.
No, thank you for bringing that up, though. Come on, folks, we need at least 4 more. You're not eligible. You're not a member of the parish. I'm sorry.
Anyone?
Yours. You can become a member of this parish. We can do it today if you want.
I don't think any of them are here, but, well, Eric's here. Eric, Lila, Nate, Lily, just several of the youth.
Yeah?
Just nominate them.
All of them?
Sure.
Oh, my God. Okay, so Eric Ramirez, okay. Is he in here somewhere?
He was.
Okay, we'll get everybody to stand up. He was here. I don't know where he is now. Okay, who else? Lila Cooper. Okay.
Lily.
Right. Daggone it. I always forget that. Krug, yep. Okay.
Oh, and Nate.
Nate, not Pershunas. Denoyer, right? I heard Steve Brown back there somewhere.
Yes. I nominate Steve Brown.
Are you willing to serve, Steve? Okay, thank you. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we now have enough. We can stop. Xylee. Okay. Right.
Anyone else?
Anybody else? Yeah, of course. So I'm going to ask each of you who was nominated to come up front and stand here so people can see you and we can do a little dog and pony show. Sorry. So, no, I'm not going to move out of the way. Okay, you guys need to stand on both sides of the board, okay? Okay. Kim, good. So I don't know where all the youth are. Where the heck are they? Okay. So, Eric, so is everybody else here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're just missing Eric and Lila and Lily and Nate and Xylee. Is Xylee up here? Okay, great. Okay. So you're just missing those teenagers, and I don't know what to tell you. They're not standing here. So you all know them. Eric was here earlier today. Okay. Yep. So Lila is a regular acolyte. Lily reads. Nate is, our 13-year-old going on 30. So there you go. Okay. So this is Rebecca. This is Kim. This is Karen. This is Aileen. This is Ricky. This is Xylee. Everybody knows who you are. This is Kim, and this is Steve. Okay? So write all those folks down on your ballot, or write down who you want to vote for anyway.
So you get 5 votes.
5 votes. Yep.
And then and when you're done, please pass them to the aisle so they can be picked up and counted.
Okay, and if somebody has accepted the nomination, come back.
Oh.
Come back. They're now finished.
Come on. You got to be faster.
If somebody
You have
has
to be
accepted
faster.
the nomination and your life changes and you can't go, I'm going to find you. Okay? 5. You pick 5. Okay? 5 votes. I just did. Oh, gosh.
Hello. If you get elected, please, please make sure you guys show up because it is HE double hockey sticks for me to find replacements. So if you get elected, please make sure you put it on your calendar. Don't let anything else come up because it's just too much on my end. So, thank you.
Everybody will listen to the parish administrator. Nobody cares about me.
I'm cuter.
Okay.
All
So we're
right.
singing, right? Are we singing while they're... As soon as you're finished voting, you can drop them
No,
in...
pass them to the aisle, and she can pick them up at the aisle.
Oh, no, the pencils go in the pews. You can leave them in the pews. Never mind, just listen to her. Gosh.
All right. Is everyone through with the board? Yes, okay.
Okay, Laurie, is this the one that we have to learn? Okay. So listen to this tune and then we're going to sing it, okay?
Do I have everybody's ballots? Oh.
Oh, loving Creator, within and above, you come as a
All right, we're now ready to have a few of the ministries talk about what they've done in the last year. And we're going to start with Margie and Radical Hospitality and Migrant Ministry.
And you get 5 minutes, and I'm cutting you off right after that.
I may not last 5 minutes. I have a cold.
Poor Margie's not doing well, folks.
So,
Lift her
if you
up.
have questions, I will not be here to answer them. But Nancy and Aileen are here in the front row. I am going to say the most important thing first, even though it's out of chronological order. You may have received an orange card and a red card. You may have received an orange card and a red card, and so please keep those, carry them with you always. If you see somebody on the side of the road with a Border Patrol truck, it will say Police ICE, and their jackets may say that. They are not our police, they are Border Patrol. And you can give whoever's being detained your red card. You can also call the number on the orange card. We will have training in Grace St. Paul about these cards. In 2024, this is supposed to be about 2024. Everything changed in 2024. We sort of got lax about our monthly vigils, but they will be reinstated with other churches and other interfaith groups going forward. We did twice monthly snack packing until Casalitas had to disband. Now, at the same time, second Tuesday and fourth Tuesday, we are writing letters, advocacy letters to different officials and letters to immigrants who are detained in the Eloy Detention Center. Please join us. Okay, we all say we're going to write letters at home. Some of us need the peer pressure. This will be the place to ask questions. I am not going to be saying a lot by email, by text, by phone call. So if you want to figure out what's going on, please come to those meetings because that's where I can say more. What we did also during 2024, we gave some of our donations. We're given $2,000 by you in our budget. We gave them to Del McCormick for the people she knows, the migrants who slipped through the cracks of Casa Alitas. We also gave some of that money to Salva Visión that does at the border support. Your donations went a long way. You also, in your annual report, have a report from Artisans Beyond Borders. They have a very great ministry of art for healing and for family and cultural togetherness to sustain them on both sides of the border. What? Oh. In September, everything changed. We started offering hospitality to the Contreras family. You've all seen the Contreras family because they got married here and the kids run around with other GSP kids. And they have been a blessing to us. We've also helped them get, well, we did a little bit to help them get a job and in schools. And we stay in very close touch with their lawyer and with other lawyers who are immigration lawyers. Trump's election changed everything for our family and for all immigrants. If you read the paper this morning, instead of focusing on drug addicts, they're focusing on people like the Contreras family. So we will do what we can to protect the Contreras family. We have officially gone from radical hospitality to being a sanctuary church. And that means all of our doors to the public spaces will remain locked. On February the 13th, we will join other religious organizations, Christian and some Jewish synagogues and a Buddhist or two, who will have a press conference. We don't know exactly where it's going to be yet, but we will put it in the e-blast. That press conference will support what our local officials have been doing. That is to say, that the local officials will do their jobs and not ICE's job. I think I've said everything that's on this little cheat sheet, but you can certainly read my report to learn more details. There's an awful lot we don't know right now, but your prayers and your support in many ways will be helpful going forward.
Thank you, Margie.
Yes, thank you, Margie.
So 2 things I just want to highlight quickly. We're suddenly a sanctuary church again, and we will stay a sanctuary church and protect everybody we can. So that means you lock all the doors, okay? Not on Sunday. The doors stay open. The ushers all know what they're doing if somebody comes, okay? And we'll help train you all on that issue later. But just what the sign says, somebody needs a warrant to come in, and it needs to be signed by a local judge. And thanks to this gentleman right here, Mr. Benson, we have a list of all of the local judges. If it's not signed by one of those folks, we don't need to let them in, and we won't, okay? All right, very good. Good. Father Gary.
Oh, here, there's 2. There's probably more of them, but.
Somebody was handing cards out. Where are they?
Margie.
Did everybody get cards?
There's more in the office.
There's more in the office, and okay.
If you raise your hand, you should keep them.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Father Gary, go.
There's a question.
Okay. Sorry, question.
Where is the list of judges?
It's going to be in the ushers panel on the back wall. It's not yet, but it will be. Yep. Yep.
Oh. Oh, you want a card? You don't want
We just got them today, so. Yeah, we'll put it up. We'll put it up in the hall too. Yep. 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 Kim, do you have a question? Kim, are you? Okay, go, Father Gary. Go.
All right. If you turn to page 40 in your manual, whatever you want to call this thing, I ended my report with the words, "with gratitude." And first and foremost, I am grateful to all of you as a parish for helping to fund our programs in social justice. But more importantly, I am actually filled with gratitude for the numerous volunteers who help with the program. And if there are any volunteers present that work in any aspect of the program I oversee, please stand up now. You can stand up, Harlan, you help too. Okay. You see how few of them there are? I want you to just be attentive to that. Thank you, folks. You can sit. 2024 was a banner year. If you look at the charts, it'll tell you how much we went through. We actually produced and served 17,000 plus luncheons, which is a high increase over the year before. The pantry itself, we gave out almost 1,000 of the community food boxes, but we gave out over 2,500 bags of the JP bags, which we've been buying those canned goods to do that. And it's actually inverted from what the mission of the pantry is, which it was supposed to be a food box first, and then a JP bag. So I'm in the works of trying to make that better. The fact that our social services department, which is actually the heart and soul of the program for me, each director has their little thing. Mine is a social service department because we're after people getting housed and employed. You can't do that without birth certificates and an ID. And we are doing that very, very well. And Aileen has been mentioned a lot. She is one of my key volunteers. Stop electing her to everything and asking her to do everything, please. I don't want any of my volunteers burning out, but that is happening. Right now, I have two 80-plus-year-olds doing the shower ministry once a week. The other 2 days, we have a person who is actually unhoused doing it. If I don't get more volunteers, the program will have to go on hiatus. And that's going to happen to each of the departments that I oversee. We are experiencing burnout. Last week, the Vestry candidates were asked a very important question. How do they understand our mission statement? And it's very simple for me. We offered the opportunity for these ministries for you to be involved in. It's not enough to sit here saying, I love Grace St. Paul's because you do these things. These things are here for you to be involved and to actually live the gospel message. So I really, really, really am looking forward to more volunteers stepping up so we don't have to put programs on hiatus. The only thing that's not in my report, as I learned this year, is Primavera Meals, or Primavera Meals, is that how you say it? Primavera Meals?
Primavera, yeah.
Which we produce 1 meal a month for the men's shelter. The 2 stalwart volunteers have asked if I could put that on hiatus. They're burning out. And it was until last week when I heard from Jake, when he mentioned in his talk as a Vestry candidate and now member, that the young adult ministries does once a quarter. I will gladly put that back. I hear you, Christine. I got your message. I will gladly put the program back into action. The volunteers who asked to go on hiatus, considering how the administration is cutting funding everywhere, has asked that I do that. But I'm going to ask if there could be another group like the young adults, maybe the Soul Sisters, might be willing to do a meal once a quarter. That way, no group is doing 2 meals a quarter. So we need a lot of help in that area. These are ministries you are all proud of. I am proud of. I'm very happy to be overseeing it. I've expanded it. Unfortunately, if you look at how much the program cost last year, it's $72,000. If you look at what the parish has for a budget, how much was it, Paul?
$1,500.
$1,500. So we rely heavily on grants, and I'll give you a heads up. We did not receive the banner grant for 2025. So that's about between, what does it, Phil, 30,000 we were applying for? We went to 30,000 this year? Well, we got 20,000 for the past couple of years. We went from 10 to 20, we went from 20 to 30, and we were not awarded the grant this year. We are writing 2 more, and we're hopeful to get them. If not, I'll have to make some really, really, really hard decisions. And I don't like making those hard decisions, so please don't make me make them. But that's just giving you a heads up on the funding, how this works. If it wasn't for the grants and the rector's discretionary fund, these programs would not float. And how does the rector's discretionary fund get funded? It's the loose offering on the second Sunday of a liturgical season.
Each liturgical season.
So that means the second Sunday of Lent, second Sunday of Easter, second Sunday of Pentecost, second Sunday of Creation, second Sunday of Advent, and did we do a second Sunday of Epiphany as well?
Epiphany, yep.
Yeah. So those are the Sundays that the loose offering goes to the rector's discretionary fund, and there are parishioners who make in-kind donations to that, and they just write on their check, if they're doing it by check, rector's discretionary fund, or there's a drop-down menu that says that as well. So that is on top of your pledge. So I stepped out during the budget meeting on purpose because you had to all talk about me, and that is okay. As some of you know, my position in Nogales ended on the 31st of December. They went into mission status, and they are on life support as is. I talked with a couple of them yesterday, and the parish is going along, but it's hard. They're a good group of people. Do you have any questions?
You don't have time for questions.
I know. We got 2 minutes. Any questions? Any thoughts? Oh, one of the Primavera volunteers.
Yep. Wendy Papenticus and I have been doing 2 months, and then young adults do the 3rd month. And we were kind of burned out, but after Trump was elected, we
Guys, will you
decided we
stop?
can't stop. Sorry.
We
That
didn't
person.
say that name in this church.
Sorry. We're carrying on. So if any of you want to join us, we would really, really relish having some help. Thank you.
Thank you, Gary. Christian.
Thank you. Tag. All right, everybody. Well, hello. I'm Christian. I lead the Children, Youth, and Families. Hello. Oh, that's better. Wow. I don't think I've actually had to speak on a mic in a while. So I'm hoping to bring some levity with, I know we've just had a couple tough conversations with ministries, but Children, Youth, and Family has been going awesome. We've been slowly growing. We just discussed that. I'm hoping to have more time and resources to continue to grow that with the church. Yeah, my report, it just, I like to describe fun events that we did in the year. So I'll go over that. But firstly, I want to thank all of our children and youth supporters this year. So if you are a teacher or a youth leader, could you please stand up so people can give you a round of applause? Thank you guys so much. It is such an honor to get to work with you guys, and you do so much for the kids. It's indescribable. So thank you guys. Yeah, we had a lot of really fun events in 2024. We had 2 baptisms here, Shania and Colin, who are both youths, and Xylee was blessed before she went to Michigan to be baptized by her grandma. So three here at JSP. We had our Lent hikes, which are going to be happening again soon. So if your families, and family is a very loose term, anybody's welcome, would like to go hike with us, it's throughout Lent. So I will be posting that soon, or you can email me for more information on that. On Easter, we had a lot of fun. We did the Easter egg hunt, reptile exhibit, bouncy house, and although it did seem like God was trying to not let the water slide happen, Luke went down about 100 times, so that was worth it. So thank you, Luke.
Way to go, Luke.
Yeah, he made it all worth it. You remember the bishop was here. That was awesome. We begrudgingly made a Go Mets sign for the bishop, which I hope we never have to do again. Anyways, we did a Youth Day event last year. I don't think we're going to do that again this year because my plan, spoiler, is to take the youth to Biosphere 2 this year. I think that'd be a cool event. Help them, learn more about different biomes and stuff, maybe that they haven't got to see. Thank you to Spunlight. Spunlight was, and they come here, they're parishioners. They offered their cotton candy. So thank you, Spunlight, wherever you are. We had our park day, which was really fun. What else? We did our Strength to Love summer camp. So I want to thank personally Danny, Madeline, and Father Allen for helping that happen. Really appreciate your guys' help with that. I was sick for a couple of those days, so they really took the reins. So thank you guys. We did our summer trip. That was really awesome. We got to volunteer at the Denver Rescue Mission, and that was something that helps the youth to see that volunteering in that type of environment is really important and is really beneficial and really nurturing to their souls. So we're hoping to do that more here in Tucson. I want to thank Erin Gooden and her mom for taking us in. You might remember when Father Steve told you about the scare we had at the church on our first night, I think it was. The alarm just started blaring at like 11 o'clock at night, and we were like, all right, we're leaving here. So they took us in for the night, which was really awesome. And yeah, we just had a lot of really awesome, fun things happen, and I'm gonna work to make that, to grow that program and to grow, families and youth events and things like that. And I'm trying to see if there's anything else. I just want to say it's important more now so than ever to spread the message to everybody in the community that GSP is a safe haven for families, for youth, for children to express themselves, to be themselves, to feel the love of God and of community. And so that's something that I'm really, really going to make the staple point of this year, and to just show that we are a very welcoming group and that we love everybody. So yeah, if anybody has any questions, that's all I got for. There's Halloween. Any questions? Oh.
The question was, how many teachers do you have?
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
That's a good question. We have, let me do the math. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. I want to say 10 teachers. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So we're good on teachers for now, but I'm not going to say, if you're interested, don't tell me, because I would love for you to tell me. We'd love to get more people involved and, get more experience and ideas. So yeah, if you have any ideas or would like to help with Sunday school or youth group, we're always looking for more people to help with youth group too. Just, talk to me and yeah, we'll discuss it. Anybody else?
Thank you, Christian.
Okay, sweet.
Where the heck is Eric?
That's a good question, Steve. I don't know. He's probably just walking around the labyrinth or
Eric
something.
did a way better job than you. Just kidding.
He wanted to take the year off, so
Just
I said.
kidding.
Well,
You
he
all
didn't
remember what I'm talking about last year?
He read it
Eric
last year.
Made believe he was Christian and did the whole report about him. Okay, Dave, you're up, right? Is the black mic, can you guys pick up the black mic? Yes. Yep.
So, hello. My name's Dave Robertson. I have been junior warden for about 1.5 years. It's been a pretty busy 1.5 years for me. I'd like to talk about the roof. If you look at my report, the insurance company paid us over $168,000. We used a little over $161,000 to actually get the work done for the roofs on 2 buildings. We used part of that for getting rid of the water stains that were on the seats. So the seats and backs were sanded and restained. Not the whole pew, but they look a whole lot better than they did. I was pestered by somebody about taking care of the potholes in the parking lot. So we got a sand gravel mix that we used to fill the holes, and that's been working pretty well. There was a light in the parking lot that was replaced. I had an electrician do that. For pest control, I'm for killing bugs and rats, but the policy of the church is to live trap. So we found somebody that does that, and they're still working to do that. There was an electrical line that was replaced when the roofing was done, so they'd have lights up on the balcony. So a big thing inside the church is, I don't know if you remember, but there was very little lighting up front. And it's not on now, but James and I and a guest put up most of these. We had to hire somebody to do the front ones. Is that right, James? Yeah, so anyway, we have lights. They're all LEDs. They should last at least 10 years, hopefully longer. So anyway, there's light. Before I go any farther, I need to recognize James. Would you stand up, James? So James has been my go-to guy for so many projects that we've done here, and plus the work that he does on his own. Plus, if I need a hand with, who do I go to for this kind of job, James always has somebody for me to call. Sometimes those people have gone out of business, but most of them it was great help. I'd also like to recognize Patty Rushing. Is she here? Stand up, Patty. Patty has bent her artistic talents out here with the fountain and some plantings, and it looks just lovely. Thank you, Patty. The sanctuary, Father Steve wanted to get a new columbarium done because there are only two or three open spaces. And I got a bid for that from the only company in the Southwest that does it. And it was double what we paid for the last one, so that was tabled. The west sanctuary door out here was rotten. That got replaced. I had my yard guy fix some bricks that were loose out in the front. That looks much better. There's new decorative fencing on this side to keep the homeless people out of the stairwell. And I went to a decorative fence company to get that done, so the chain link that was there just looked awful. So what we have out there is much nicer. There was a bunch of trash out in the northwest corner of the parking lot. The homeless people were using that material to light fire, to keep warm. I had my landscaping guy come and clean all that out. It took 2 people all day to do that. But it looks like it's supposed to now, so it's much cleaner. 2 windows were repaired in the parish hall that were broken by I don't know who. And some more additions to the memorial garden. So that's really all I have to say. I had a lot of fun. It was a lot of work at times. Right now, I would like Steve to come up, your new junior warden. And let's give him a round of applause for volunteering to do this. And I am passing the keys. Thank you.
As I speak to you for the last time as senior warden of this amazing church, I'm so thankful that I found Grace St. Paul's Episcopal Church when I was looking online for a progressive Christian church 15 years ago. And I came to visit on a Palm Sunday. And I quickly felt at ease and just knew that this could be my forever church home, something I'd been missing for years. I've had the opportunity over the last 15 years to be a part of some of the amazing ministries here at GSP. Joseph's Pantry, started back when it was in the shed and a much smaller ministry than it is now. Radical hospitality when we welcomed our first guest. Education for ministry, mentoring even as I was just in my second year of the program, and serving 4 years on the Vestry, and that's a long story I won't get into. And then starting 3 years ago as your senior warden. I want to thank all of you for making those 3 years special in so many ways. All of the clergy, vestry, staff, volunteers, and parishioners have made my role so much easier, and I've been blessed to serve as your senior warden. But I really want to thank Father Steve for offering me the opportunity to serve this church as a senior warden. I learned so much in this role that I didn't understand from my other church roles. Gaining just a little bit of insight into the responsibilities and concerns that he faces every day truly allowed me to understand just how incredibly fortunate we are to have him as our rector. At every opportunity, he pushes us to live into our vision to be a spiritual home, open to all, providing food for the journey, and calling us to change the world. And for that, I will always be grateful. Thank you again for letting me serve as your senior warden. Thank you.
Thank you again, Steve. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, you can read my State of the Church report in the annual report. So, and you've probably already done that, so I'm not going to be redundant and repeat any of that, so just read that. So I'm going to move right to the Rector's Award. So as many of you know, I have done an annual Rector's Award since I've come to Grace St. Paul's. Some years I have been very sorry that I ever started that practice because it was too difficult to choose someone, and I've had to break it up many years. But I got to tell you, this year is probably the easiest choice that I have ever made in the Rector's Award. So I'll just tell you a little bit about this person. This person started coming here a while back. I don't want to give this away too soon here. And started attending church here on a regular basis. And before I knew it, the person was coming to not just regular Sunday service, but all of our services. And I don't mean just Spirit Now and Sunday. I mean all of our services. I mean meditation, everything. And I don't mean just one service every Sunday. I mean both services. And I don't mean some of the services during Holy Week, every single service in Holy Week and all the way through the year. And that just kept going. So I then asked this person to serve us by representing us at one of the local community places that I can't say the name of, or I'll totally give this away, so I'll keep going. Then I asked this person if they would consider being our regular weekly counter of our money that comes in. Then I asked this person if they... Stop! I'm going through the whole thing, okay? Then I asked this person if they would start serving at the table. And they started serving. And then I asked this person to be a cross bearer, and they started doing that. And then a lay lector, and then a pantry volunteer. And then the person started coming to all the liturgy meetings. And then the person started solving all of our problems in the office every day, every single day, backing up everyone in the office, and on and on and on. This year's annual Rector's Award goes to... See why it was so easy?
All right. I am so happy to say that we have our ballot results. We won't send you home today not knowing. So, for diocesan convention, I'm going to read off the first 5 names, and these are our delegates to diocesan convention. Ricky Salas.
Surprise!
Aileen, Rebecca, Kim Kennedy, and Karen McVeigh. The alternates, Kim Braun, Steve, Xylee, Lila Cooper, and Nate. So.
And folks, we ask all the alternates to go to convention, okay? So you can learn the ropes and help us out. Okay.
And yes, thank you. Thank you very much. That you did a fantastic job.
Rob? Rob's next, right?
Yes, it's.
Does your chancellor have a report for you?
We're not being sued by anybody. We did have a bit of a challenge this year. Some of the neighbors in this area were very distressed about the homeless population, and made a pretty good run at shutting us down. We politely resisted that, and that group has now disbanded. And you might have noticed that one of them is selling their home next door, which is sad, but they're going to move into what they always wanted, which was a gated community. So. We're going to continue with our pantry program and our feeding our homeless, and at least until the next challenge, we're safe.
Thank you, Rob. So I want to quickly add that Rob totally bailed the rector out. I was going to these neighborhood meetings trying to defend us week after week, and they just kept punching harder and harder and harder each week. And Rob finally said to me, I'll do it. And he took over, and the whole thing has now disbanded. Thank you, Rob. All right, we're up for the big announcement. Time to announce our new senior warden. So, folks, as you all know, as you all know better than me, we are in some very unstable times right now. And you all know that Grace St. Paul's is going to be in the middle of that instability. So I have thought really hard and long about this, and we really need someone now who is experienced and full of courage and ready to take on all of these things that are going to happen to us in the next 4 years. This is actually a 3-year term, but you get what I mean. So I've actually bent the canons of the church slightly. I have not broken them. I have not gone beyond them. But I believe this is going to be so complex and so difficult that I've actually have a two-pronged approach here, okay? So I'm going to tell you one thing, don't say anything yet, and then I'll complete the announcement. Your new senior warden is Phil Johnson. And your new special advisor to the senior warden is Martha Whitaker. Martha, come on. Come on up here. So some of you know that Martha was the first senior warden that I chose here at Grace St. Paul's, and she saved me from amazing amounts of stuff. And Phil has also served as senior warden. I would not usually do this, but because I just know how difficult this is going to be over the next 4 years, I think it's going to take all of us to do this. So I am really, really grateful that they both said yes to this. They are both incredibly busy people, but together I think that we're going to pull this off and make Grace St. Paul's to continue to be the great, great place that it is. So, okay.
Well, and before you go, Phil, there are major trappings that come with being the senior warden. The first of which is this crappy set of keys that I have to admit, yes, the same key ring I was given, that still have keys on here that I don't know what they unlock. But I'm sure they're important, so I haven't taken them off.
You're going through the whole church and try every part of these things.
And then the senior warden medallion. Ooh. This is something special that you get to wear at diocesan convention when you go to identify just who you are. For some reason, they have to know who the senior wardens are. So you gave it to me, and I give it back to you. Congratulations.
Who would have thunk it?
Congratulations. All right, is there any other business? Anything we've missed? No, then
Okay, I think that's your last official duty there.
All
right, thank you all. It was I'm so proud to be a part of this congregation. Thank you all for everything you do. All right, all right, all right.
Hi again. So whoever got elected for the convention, don't do anything if they send you anything. I'm doing all of it. I register you guys, we pay for it. Don't do anything, I got you.
Okay.
Have a good day!
Thank you, Parish Administrator.
And
all right.
Before we go,
No, we have to sing first. We have to sing first. Let's sing our way out of here, folks.
Is Don here?
Is Don still here? Okay, all right. All right, let's sing, let's sing, let's sing.
Let us go forth into the world, rejoicing in the power of the Spirit. Alleluia, alleluia, alleluia.